What's going on, everybody? Rock here, and welcome to day number 25 in my countdown to Black Ops 2. Got a pretty interesting video for you today, playing some Modern Warfare 2, and I'm going to be running around with akimbo Desert Eagles, and that's because my topic for today is secondaries in Black Ops 2. So I figured this gameplay might be appropriate for that, considering I'm not really using a primary weapon. I'm using my secondary weapons here to try and achieve my goals. And the secondaries for Black Ops 2 is going to be kind of interesting with the way they have the 10-point create a class system now. You don't necessarily have to even use secondaries at all. So probably when you're watching my gameplays after Black Ops 2 comes out, you're probably not going to see any secondaries on my classes very often. If anything, I may run some type of a launcher to take down air support on one class, but probably all my other created classes will be secondary lists. But we're going to get into the secondary list right now. First, we're going to talk about the pistols, and then we'll get to the launchers or anti-air secondaries. First off, we start off with a pistol called the Cap 40. Now, some of these pistols, I think they're made up again. They're fictitious. I couldn't really find anything on the Cap 40. It's been seen in several of the trailers. You saw it used both as a semi-automatic pistol, and then you also saw it used as a fully automatic pistol, kind of like a Glock or a G18. I'm having a feeling we're going to see it as a fully automatic pistol in its normal state in the Black Ops 2 multiplayer, but we'll have to see when we get the game exactly what they give us. But it looks like we're going to have a fully automatic pistol there, so that's almost like a machine pistol. Next up, we've got the TAC 45, which is basically a 45 caliber handgun, semi-automatic. Out of all the pistols, it actually deals the most damage out of the normal pistols, okay? And I say normal, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Your next pistol in the lineup is the B23R, and the easiest way I can describe this weapon is think Raffica from Modern Warfare 2. You know, I think it was the Raffica M93 from Modern Warfare 2. Just an amazingly good sidearm. It was a 3-burst fire pistol, and that's essentially what the B23R is a 3-burst pistol. Just think of it as a pocket M16. That's what the Raffica was eventually called in Modern Warfare 2. The last confirmed pistol in Black Ops 2 for multiplayer, well, it's a doozy. I've kind of saved the best for last. It's called the Executioner, and if you look at this thing, it kind of looks like a 44 Magnum or a 357 Magnum on steroids. And if that's what it was, that would be great within and of itself. But that is not what the Executioner is, my friends. It is a double-action revolver pistol, but it doesn't fire anything close to a 44 Magnum. It fires 28-gauge shotgun shells. Yeah, that's right. This thing is a revolver shotgun, and at first I thought, wait a minute, no, that can't be. But it's actually a real gun. This thing is modeled after a real gun. I think late 2010, early 2011, Smith & Wesson came out with a shotgun shell firing handgun called the Governor. And it fired 28 gauge shells, and it looked like a small snub-nose revolver. Well, Taurus Firearms came out with their own version called the Raging Judge, and that is exactly what this gun is right here. And it was called the Executioner for Black Ops 2, and it's definitely my pick for possibly the most overpowered sidearm in the game. Can you imagine dual-wielding, dual executioners at close range? Now, that's the only downfall to this thing, is the range. It does have a very, very small range capacity, so you got to remember it will be treated like a shotgun, I'm sure, and they may tweak it at some point. You know how they do with shotguns. They nerf them, they buff them, they do whatever they have to do. But the Executioner, definitely a formidable looking secondary. Now, there was one gun mentioned that might also be in Black Ops 2, but I have no confirmation for sure, and that is the 5.7. You were familiar with the 5.7, I'm sure, in Modern Warfare 3, and it might possibly be making its way into Black Ops 2 as well, if not in the multiplayer, possibly in the single-player campaign. And that is going to do it for the pistols in the secondary. Now on to your launchers. The launchers in Black Ops 2 probably going to be some of your most ignored secondaries, if I had to guess. I have a feeling personally myself, I will only run maybe one, maybe two classes with some type of launcher on it as a secondary. I always have a class dedicated to taking down air support. So you should always have at least one class with some type of launcher on it. And the launchers for Black Ops 2 are as follows. First of all is the SMAW. It will be returning. It's probably going to be your default one, I would think, that's unlocked at the start of the game. It's a free fire, or you can lock on vehicles with it, but I imagine you only get one shot. That would be pretty standard and pretty much like previous versions. Your main launcher for this game, though, to take down majority of your air support is going to be the FHJ 18AA, and it's going to be a vehicle lock-on shoulder mount rocket launcher, and that's essentially going to be your main go-to launcher to take down all those helicopters and things flying around that just destroy you. You know, this is something you gotta have equipped. If you want, I'm hoping it won't be a really high unlock, but you never really know. Once somebody gets up something like here, you see in the game, I'm putting up some Harriers right now. Anytime an opposing team threw up some Harriers or a chopper, the first thing I would do would be to switch my class to my anti-air class to take it down the minute I got killed. I've even been known to kill myself. I've killed myself just to respawn in with that class on, just so I could take down the air support. So that's going to be your main anti-aircraft weapon, the FHJ 18AA. You wish they could have come up with something a little easier to say. We'll probably just end up calling it the FHJ. And that is going to do it for our vehicle lock-on firing launchers. Your next launcher in the series is going to be an old fan favorite, and one I used pretty good bit in Black Ops, and that is the RPG. A free-fire, shoulder-mounted, rocket-propelled grenade launcher. And RPG is just, it can be a fun weapon. It can also be a really irritating weapon. A lot of it depends on the blast radius. I think this is something where flak jacket's going to come in really handy to counter the good old RPG. But you can also fire it at aircraft. You just don't have the lock-on capability. So it's a much better anti-personnel weapon than it is an anti-aircraft weapon. And those are your three main confirmed launchers. Also, the crossbow is supposedly supposed to be returning. Now, will it be in multiplayer? There's a little bit of discussion as to whether that is 100% true or not. I think it'll probably be back. Crossbow was pretty fun in Black Ops. It was really fun to run around and use. It was a challenge to use because you had to be extremely accurate with this thing. I would definitely like to see crossbow is a mainstay in the multiplayer in the launcher category. And that's going to do it, guys, for the secondaries on Black Ops 2. Pretty interesting lineup there. Again, I really feel that a lot of these secondaries are going to be ignored. With the 10-point build-a-class, custom class system, you're going to have these points that you can use on all these different things. I think secondaries are something that's just really going to be ignored. I would say majority of my created classes will not contain a secondary on them. That is a valuable point in your created class system that you could just spend it wisely somewhere else. Unless you are just a person that relies on having that secondary that you can switch to get yourself out of a jam, then otherwise I see the secondaries not being utilized very often. What do you guys think? What is your favorite secondary to equip in any Call of Duty? I'd have to say probably, I know this is going to sound terrible, but the RPG, probably my favorite secondary to equip in all of Call of Duty. It's just a little fun to blast somebody with an RPG once in a while. That's going to do it for this one, guys. 25 kills with the Desert Eagles. I will see you tomorrow in the countdown. Have a great day, everyone.